This video is going to be commissioning the Webcheckers with a PLC straight out of the box. I haven't even put power to these yet. So first what you do is get the 7-digit part number off the Webcheckers itself. So mine are 110. Make sure so you don't have to be logged in to do this. So 1106623. And there are the Webcheckers that I've got. So these are the Ethernet IP version. We can also look at, beam spacing, their 145 millimeter version. So you can go through that and kind of see the mounting constraints and stuff like that you have, right? Minimum of 200 millimeters and a maximum of 3.5. But first, let's look at the connection diagram. So you see here, you've got a M5 to M5 or 5-pin to 5-pin to 5-pin splitter. That's what I've got here to power between the two. You see that all those are 5 pins, so you'll need a M12 5-pin to go between them because they do sync over the wires. So if we go into the connection diagram, you can see exactly what I've got here. So the top one is configuration port, which is Ethernet, which I'll configure with SOPAS. Then I've got a bus out, which I'm not going to use. Got a bus in, that's my field bus. I'm going to my PLC over Ethernet IP. And then I've got a power, which is just 24 volts, M12 5-pin. And then I've got a device connection. And the device comes from the receiver itself to the master, to the bus. So we'll go ahead and while we're at sick.com, grab the EDS file, which you'll find under downloads. And then we'll go to software. And then you'll see the EDS file. And if you've got a Rockwell PLC, there is some sample code and all in that, and step-by-step guidance on how to install them. I have an Omron PLC, so it's not going to be as easy as it would with a Rockwell, but still it shouldn't be too difficult. So once I've got that downloaded, I'll go ahead and go in my files and I'll extract that out of the downloads. So we'll go ahead and unzip it because we know we're going to need it. Now that's done, and also while I'm here, I'll go ahead and grab the manual. And I know I want to go ahead and start looking at my instance sizes, my input assembly, and my output assembly. To figure out what data I want. So we'll just go to assembly and see if it'll go straight to it. So process data out can be configured in MLG itself. I'll probably just leave it at factory is what my plan is. But I can see this, I've got exclusive owner with configurations and without. I'm going to be using without configurations. If I had with configurations, then the PLC would overwrite the MLG, so I'll do it without configuration. So what I set in SOPAS will not be overwritten by the PLC. So now let's go to SOPAS and set our IP addresses. So I've got them. Go ahead and power these up. And now I'll do a search with SOPAS. So that I can set my IP addresses of the device and kind of get them set up. Now you can see it's found the web checker, so I'll just slide that over. And it's going to tell me that it does not like the IP address. So I'll go ahead and set this so it's on the same subnet as what I'm on. I'm on 192.168.1. And we'll just leave it at 100 because it looks like maybe that's something's open. Or what we can do is we can hit auto and it'll automatically reach out and find something that's unused. So I'll leave that at 121 and hit OK. And now I'll delete this out. Now we'll just research the IP address to research the network for the MLGs. So it's found the MLG with a new IP address. It does not have the driver, so I'll do a device upload. And that'll give me the driver straight out of the MLGs. Now the driver is successfully in there. I'll go online with the device. Now read parameters. Now I can just double click on the icon. And this is the screen that it pulls up. So right now I need to align the MLGs. And I don't have them on just the best stand here. I probably should have got something to mount them, but we'll get them close to 100 as we can. And I'll go next, and I'll let it teach. And I completed the teach. Now it's going to go through and it's going to search for the edge of the object, how many edges that I have. These are pretty small, so I'll just put the phone in there this way, and then I'll teach. And I need to be a third of the distance from the receiver. And you see it didn't see that, so we'll come back. And this is the receiver, so it needs to be a third away from it. So I'll go teach again. And it's found my two edges. I'll do it again because I'm kind of close to the end of it. And it didn't really pick up that edge very defined. So now I've got two solid edges. I hit finish. And now I can see that the MLGs are outputting function 1 and 2. That's the edges, and then the center position or the width itself. Now we'll come with device settings. I'll set the IP address for the web checkers themselves. So I'll do a static IP address. And so this is the SOPIS interface for configuration, and this will be my Ethernet IP. So I'm going to put that at 1.77. And I'll keep the submask the same. Then I'll activate. Now I've written that IP address to the MLGs. And this is all I'll do inside the MLGs. Now we'll come to Network Configurator. And I'll install my EDS file for the MLGs. And I know that was underneath downloads. And there it is right there. just to verify it took it. I'll install it again. No, I don't want an icon. Now I'll connect to my network over USB. Then I'll upload. You can see it's found the 77. Now while that's uploading, we'll go back to the manual, and I want to do without configurations, and I'll do like input assembly 101. So now I can come down to, let's see if we can find input assemblies to figure out what that data means. So here's 101 and edge 1, 2, 3. So I'm just going to do edge 1 and 10 because that's what we saw in SOPUS here, I believe. Or yes. So we'll do edge 1 and 10 is what I'll pull out of it. Now I can see 101, what I'll get here is edges and what size they are. So they're unsigned integers, depending on which word that I want to pull out of it. That's how it'll be laid out. So let's go back to network configurator, and it says there's a problem, but there's really not. Now I'll just double click on it. I'll bring that down. Double click there, and I want to do without configuration. So we'll say 101, and it says it's 48 bytes of data. So now I'll edit a tag set. I'll create a new tag. And how many bytes was that? 48 bytes, so they must match. I'll put it in D20,000, 48 bytes, and I'll register that. And then we'll use 2 bytes out. So I'll create another one. And I'll use snipping tool to save this. Now I'll register it. Close. You can see everything is in there. Now I'll download to the PLC. Now I'll change the program mode before I download. Now we'll go to monitor, and we'll see that 77 is up and running. So now I'm kind of a PLC program, and I can go to memory, deregister, and we'll go to 20,000. Now I'll put my phone in there, and I can see that I've got edge 1 and edge 10. So 00, the first word, and the 10th word are my edges. So if we take this down to byte, let's go back to SOPUS. I should be at 37 and 113 or somewhere inside that range. Let's try to find something that we can sit in there, it'll stay. So now I see that I am at edge 1 is at 46, and so right now I'm tracking edge 10 is coming to 9, but if I scroll over, you can see that 409 and 490 or 49.0, that's the exact same, and this is as well. So that's how you take the MLG straight out the box, throw it into a PLC connection, SOAPS interface, everything. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope this helps.